I remember my 7th birthday party with perfect clarity. The chocolate cake with rainbow sprinkles, my mother's yellow sundress, the way the afternoon sunlight filtered through our kitchen window as I blew out the candles. I can still feel the warmth of that moment, the love surrounding me, the pure joy of being celebrated. There's just one problem: I was an only child, but in this memory, I'm watching myself from across the room. I can see my own face, my own excitement, as if I were someone else entirely. For 32 years, I never questioned this impossibility. For 32 years, I carried this memory as one of my most treasured possessions, never wondering why I could observe myself from an external perspective in what should have been a first-person experience. Until 3 weeks ago, when I discovered that this memory, and dozens of others, don't belong to me at all. My name is David Chen, I'm a software engineer living in Portland, and I'm about to tell you something that will make you question every memory you hold dear. Because what I've learned about the nature of human memory, about the technology that's been developed in secret for over a decade, about the experiments that people like me have unknowingly participated in, changes everything we think we know about consciousness, identity, and the very nature of self. What if I told you that your childhood memories might belong to someone else entirely? What if your first kiss, your greatest fear, your deepest trauma, what if none of it was originally yours? The discovery started with something seemingly innocent, a digital decluttering project. I was organizing old files on my computer when I found a folder I didn't remember creating, labeled Memory Integration Logs, subject 7429. The timestamp showed it was created in 2019, but I had no recollection of making it. Inside were hundreds of files with clinical names: childhood_birthday_set_a.mp4, first_day_school_variant_3.wave, family_vacation_emotional_template.dat. Each file had metadata I didn't understand: neural pathway coordinates, emotional intensity ratings, integration success percentages. But what made my blood freeze were the video files. The first one I opened showed a child's birthday party. Not my birthday party, the perspective was wrong, the house was different, the family wasn't mine. But as I watched, I recognized every detail. The chocolate cake with rainbow sprinkles. The yellow sundress on a woman who wasn't my mother but somehow felt like her. The same warm sunlight, the same overwhelming feeling of love and celebration. I was watching the original source of my memory. My hands shaking, I opened file after file. A first day of school in a classroom I'd never attended. A family vacation to a beach I'd never visited. A grandmother's funeral for a woman I'd never met. Christmas mornings in houses that weren't my childhood home, with families that weren't mine, but that felt more real and emotionally resonant than my actual past. Every single one was a memory I'd carried for decades, believing they were mine. At the bottom of the folder was a document titled Patient Consent Agreement, Memory Therapy Trial. The signature at the bottom was mine, but it was dated 5 years ago, and I had absolutely no memory of signing it. According to the document, I had volunteered to participate in an experimental treatment for severe depression and suicidal ideation conducted by something called the Neuroplasticity Research Institute. The treatment involved therapeutic memory enhancement, replacing traumatic or negative memories with positive memory constructs derived from successful emotional templates. The consent form was 47 pages long and filled with technical language I barely understood. But the core concept was terrifyingly clear: they had removed my original memories and replaced them with artificial ones designed to improve my mental health. I called the number listed in the document. The woman who answered spoke with clinical detachment that chilled me. "Mr. Chen, yes, you were part of our pilot program. The treatment was successful, your depression scores improved by 78%, and you've maintained stable mental health for 5 years. Is there a problem? A problem?" I could barely form words. "You stole my entire past and replaced it with fake memories." "The memories aren't fake, Mr. Chen. They're carefully curated real experiences from volunteer donors, selected for optimal emotional impact and psychological benefit. Your brain integrated them seamlessly. You've been happier, more successful, more emotionally stable than you ever were before treatment. But they're not my memories. Memory is just neural patterns, Mr. Chen. The source is irrelevant. What matters is the positive impact on your psychological well-being." She was right about one thing: I've been happy. For 5 years, I'd lived with a sense of contentment and emotional security I'd never experienced before. I had warm childhood memories, loving family relationships, experiences of joy and celebration that had shaped my entire adult personality. But none of it was real. None of it was mine. The woman continued, "We selected your memory set very carefully. The birthday party came from a donor who described it as the happiest day of her childhood. The school memories came from someone with exceptional social confidence. The family dynamics were composite memories designed to provide optimal attachment security. What happened to my real memories? They were archived, of course. All original memory patterns are preserved in case of integration failure or patient request for reversal. Though I should warn you, very few patients choose to return to their original memories once they learn the details." "What details?" There was a pause. "Mr. Chen, your original memories contain significant trauma. Childhood abuse, neglect, multiple instances of violence. You attempted suicide twice before seeking treatment. The memories we've given you were specifically chosen to replace experiences that were actively damaging your mental health. I felt like I was falling through space. I want them back. Are you certain? The reversal process is irreversible, and your original memories were difficult. You'll remember why you sought treatment in the first place. I spent 3 sleepless days wrestling with this decision. Keep the beautiful, borrowed memories that had given me 5 years of happiness, or reclaim my authentic but traumatic past? The philosophical implications were staggering. If my personality, my emotional responses, my entire sense of self had been shaped by experiences that weren't mine, who was I really? Was the David Chen who'd been happy for 5 years the real me, or was he an artificial construction built on stolen memories? More disturbing, if the technology existed to seamlessly replace memories, how many other people were living with borrowed pasts? How many of our friends, family members, colleagues might be carrying memories that weren't originally theirs? I researched everything I could find about the Neuroplasticity Research Institute. What I discovered was a rabbit hole of government funding, military applications, and experiments that had been running for over 15 years. The initial research was funded by DARPA for treating PTSD in veterans. The technology had evolved far beyond therapeutic applications. Memory implantation was being used experimentally for education, instantly providing people with skill sets and knowledge by implanting memories of learning and practice. Corporate espionage was using memory extraction to steal trade secrets directly from employees' minds. But the most disturbing application was social control. Early trials had tested implanting false memories of crimes, creating artificial witnesses, even altering people's political beliefs by changing their remembered experiences with different groups or ideologies. I found forums where other participants shared their experiences. A woman who discovered her memories of loving parents were implanted to cover up childhood abuse. A veteran whose combat trauma had been replaced with false memories of peaceful deployment, only to have the real memories surface during the reversal process. A teenager whose memories of academic success were artificial, designed to boost confidence but leaving her unable to actually perform at the level her memories suggested. The common thread in all these stories was the crushing existential crisis that came with discovery. If your memories aren't your own, what defines you as a person? Are you the sum of your experiences, or something deeper? And if someone else can edit your past, do you have any real autonomy over your identity? I chose the reversal. The process took 3 days in a clinical setting. As each borrowed memory faded, it was replaced by something darker, more painful, but undeniably mine. The loving birthday parties gave way to memories of being forgotten, ignored, sometimes punished for existing. The supportive family dynamics dissolved into recollections of violence, addiction, and emotional abandonment that shaped my early understanding of relationships. But something unexpected happened during the reversal. I also recovered positive memories that had been removed. Not because they were traumatic, but because they didn't fit the optimal emotional template the researchers had designed. I remembered my real grandmother, not the borrowed funeral memory, but a complex woman who was sometimes cruel, sometimes kind, but who taught me to read and sparked my love of science fiction. I remembered a teacher who saw potential in me despite my troubled home life and pushed me toward academic achievement. I remembered small moments of beauty and wonder that were uniquely mine, even in the midst of difficult circumstances. Most importantly, I remembered choosing to survive. The borrowed memories showed me a version of myself that had always been happy, but my real memories revealed someone who had fought through darkness and chose to keep living despite overwhelming odds. The borrowed happiness was pleasant but passive. My authentic joy, when it came, was hard-earned and meaningful in ways the artificial memories could never be. The reversal process revealed something the researchers hadn't anticipated. Removing traumatic memories also removed the resilience, empathy, and depth that came from overcoming those experiences. The improved version of me had been happier but smaller, more superficial, less capable of genuine connection with others who were struggling. 3 months after the reversal, I can say with certainty that I made the right choice, even though it's been incredibly difficult. My real memories include pain, but they also include growth, survival, and the authentic relationships I've built with people who know and accept the whole truth of who I am. But the implications of what I've discovered extend far beyond my personal story. The technology exists to seamlessly alter human memory. It's being used, right now, in ways the public doesn't know about. And the people who control this technology have the power to rewrite not just individual identities, but potentially entire societies' understanding of history and reality. How do you know your memories are authentic? How can you tell the difference between something you experienced and something that was expertly implanted by technology that's designed to be undetectable? Here are warning signs I've learned to recognize: memories viewed from external perspectives, like my birthday party, emotional responses that seem disproportionate to the remembered experience, significant gaps in childhood memories followed by sudden clarity about specific events, and most importantly, the feeling that your personality or capabilities don't match your remembered experiences. But the deeper question isn't how to detect false memories, it's how to maintain authentic identity in a world where the past can be edited. My answer is to focus on present experiences, genuine relationships, and the continuous choice to be honest about who you are in each moment. Your memories may be malleable, but your current consciousness, your immediate thoughts, feelings, and choices, are undeniably yours. The person you choose to be today matters more than the experiences that shaped you yesterday, whether those experiences were real or implanted. I'm sharing this story not to create paranoia about memory manipulation, but to emphasize the importance of living authentically in the present. Build real relationships based on who you are now, not who you remember being. Create new experiences that are undeniably yours. Value truth over comfort, even when the truth is difficult. And if you ever discover that your memories aren't your own, remember this: you are not just the sum of your past experiences. You are the consciousness that observes, evaluates, and chooses how to respond to whatever history you carry, whether that history is authentic or artificially constructed. The most radical act of resistance against memory manipulation is to live fully and consciously in each present moment, creating authentic experiences that no technology can steal or alter. What if your memories aren't yours? Then make sure your choices are.